Hi, welcome back to my channel and my studio. I missed you guys. I've been painting a lot. I have an art show coming up, so I've been making little short videos so you can see my progress. And I was thrifting today and got a quilt. So I love that. And what else did I buy? I bought a wood bowl. I didn't realize that it has like a weird little hole in it, but oh, here it is, the holes. Yeah, what is that about? I don't know why there's a hole in it. Maybe you guys can let me know. But anyhow, I'm gonna read. Um, um and I have my wine with me, and we're gonna read from Untethered Soul. And if you guys hang out with me, I'll pull some angel cards. But just let's start off with saying the Serenity Prayer together. God grant us serenity to accept things we can't change, to have courage to change the things we can, and wisdom to know it's God's will, not mine, be done, right? So let's also, I've been, I have this outfit on today, and my fingernails, you can see like inside of them, like I was dying, like all these were white at one point. So yeah, I had this gauze top and it was white, and I had cooked already and got stuff all over it. Had this sweater I've been working with, and I cut the sleeves. And then I had this shirt, of course, just cotton shirt underneath it because I get cold in my arms. And all this, all this blue dye, and it was supposed to be black dye, but it turns out to be this purple. So I figured that's the way it goes, right? Have you ever used red dye? And so like I was wringing it out. I used vinegar. I put it in the dryer, and then I washed it with water, and then I put it back in the dryer. So cross your fingers that it doesn't like bleed on other clothes. Anyhow, to be continued with that. Yeah, I've just been diving in to try to get out a little bit more, and but in the meantime, still like just I have like a goal. So September, it's like September 2nd is when the art show starts, and I'm having success with my little consignment shelves. If you've been following that as well. So without further ado, we said the prayer already, and now we're going to read part of chapter. It's called "Stealing Freedom from Your Soul." And this is, again, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. It was one of the books that I read before I was sober. I'm 5 years, 5.5 now, 5.5+ years sober, and also in other 12-step programs. Those programs to me were the ABCs, like the elementary school college prep program that I needed, quote, uh, in order to put my ADHD into organization to actually be able to use the tools like from all the self-help books. Because I was like, just because you know it doesn't mean you do it. So the 12 steps was like simply done, but you have to do the work. You have to be like, okay, I can't take it anymore. I need to be able to, like if my kids don't want to see me anymore, if you know you you're having issues with your relationships, you're fighting, or like you're always saying like, oh my, like I'm having a hard time in my life, you're feeling a victim. We're trying to turn that around so that you can have a good day, like just for today, right? All right. So I was reading this the other day, and so I dog-eared it, and I really wanted to share it with you. So I may go back and forth in it. So here we go, starting on page 92, and then I'll probably go backwards a little bit. Point, you have to wake up and acknowledge that you have a problem inside. Just watch and you'll see that your mind is constantly telling you what to do. It tells you where to go, um, tells you to go here, but not there. It says this, but not that. It tells you what to wear, what not to wear. It has, it never stops. Wasn't it that way in high school? Wasn't it that way in junior high, elementary? Hasn't it always been that way? This act of constantly worrying about yourself is a form of suffering. But how do you fix this? And how do you get it to stop? You have to have willingness, but realizing, like, I can't, my life has become unmanageable. So that's like step one, like simply said. It's like, you don't want to admit that, then you're going to still suffer. And others suffer because of the way you're acting, like the way that it's obvious to them, that your life's not manageable. And you can't even take a compliment, right? If someone says, oh, your yard looks great, and you'll be like, oh, well, not yet because, I didn't plant it, like, thank you is good to say. Thank you and appreciate like the work you did. Like, I did that work and have the moment to feel good, But right. So most people, I'm reading again, most people try to fix their inner problems by getting better at the same external games they have always played. If we take a snapshot of our inner problems, we see that each person has what we'll call the problem of the day. This is the thing that is bothering them the most at any given moment. When the current problem isn't bothering them, then the next one pops up. And when that one isn't bothering them, then the next one, the next one, the next one. So that is what our thoughts are about. Your thoughts tend to focus on what's bothering you today. So your thoughts are about the problem and why it's bothering you and what you can do about it. If you don't do something about this, it'll go on for the rest of your life. So what you'll see is that your mind is always telling you that you have to change something outside in order to solve the inner. But if you're wise, and that's what we're working on, the wisdom to know the difference, know you're wise, you won't play this game. You'll realize that the advice your mind is giving you is psychologically damaged advice because we come from childhood traumas, and yeah, you have psychologically damaged advice. Your mind's thoughts are disturbed by its fears, and so of all the advice in the world that you do not want to listen to is the advice of a disturbed mind, right? So your mind actually misleads you. Suppose it tells you, if I could just get that promotion, then I'd be fine. But that's not true. So I'd feel good about myself and I could get my life back together. Have you found that to be true after you get that promotion? Does that end all of your insecurities and leave you financially satisfied for the rest of your life? Of course not. All that happens is that the next problem comes to the surface. Once you see this, you realize the mind has a serious underlying problem. So what is doing is making up external situations that might make things comfortable, but the external situations are not the cause of the inner problems, right? So they are merely an attempt to solve the problem. For example, if you feel loneliness and insufficiency within your heart, it's not because you haven't found a special relationship that did not cause the problem. That relationship is your attempt to solve the problem. All you're doing is trying to see if a relationship will appease your inner disturbance. If it doesn't, you'll try something else. In fact, however, External changes are not going to solve your problems because they don't address the root of the problem. So the root of the problem is that you don't feel whole and complete within yourself. So that goes, if you work on step 4, which is doing a fearless moral inventory of yourself, and you're able to like really like pick out the glass that's stuck in your foot, basically. Like you're gonna see like what, like, oh, like I gotta get this out. I gotta see what is festering underneath that I'm not looking at, but it's painful, right? You know it's there, but you don't know like how bad it is. Like what are your fears? And it all basically comes to that. Like you can say, oh, I'm not afraid of anything. I will like, I've been through everything. It's not that kind of fear. It's not like you're gonna have like an overextended like death wish because you're in a bad relationship and you're not fearful of like burning the house down because of it. Those core wounds and like the chirons, if you're into astrology, it's your core wound. It's the thing that gets you every time, like that childhood thing, like being left out, fear of being left out, fear of um, being abandoned. That's a popular one. You know, you're like, no, I'm not afraid of that. I can be alone. Okay, we're not talking about that. We're talking about like what seed was planted when you had that childhood trauma? What seed was planted and reinforced that you can't get, like what plant comes every time, yeah, comes up from the concrete that you've built that's solid, what grows no matter what. Like, how is that growing? So you'll hide behind finances, people, fame, and adoration. If you try to find the perfect person to love and adore, you manage to succeed, and then you have actually failed. You don't solve your problem. All you did was involve. You didn't solve, you involved that person in your problem. That is why people have so much trouble with relationships. You began with the problem inside yourself and you try to solve it by getting involved with somebody else. That relationship will have problems because your problems are what caused the relationship. It's also easy to see once you step back and I dare you to look at it honestly. So now that we've seen that what failure looks like. Let's define success. Success regarding your psyche is comparable to health regarding your physical body. Success means you never have to think about your psyche again. A natural, healthy body is one that just does what it's supposed to do while you're going about your business. You never have to think about it. Likewise, you should never have to figure out how to be okay or how not to be scared or how to be loved or feel loved. So you should not have to devote your life to your psyche. So imagine what fun life would be if you didn't have to, if you didn't have those neurotic personal thoughts going within you. So you could enjoy things. You could actually get to know people instead of needing them and needing them to fix what's wrong inside of you. You are capable of achieving that state. It's never too late. So I'm going to stop there because that's a lot, right? And my bookmark is a note that I wrote about. There's a Carl Jung was the actual psychologist, doctor psychologist, that was springboarded the thoughts and the systems of those 12-step programs. There, it's slightly mentioned in, I think, in the Big Blue Book, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I love Carl Jung because of the the drawings and trying to figure out the psyche, and that's how I read my cards. Is Jungian way, the anima and yeah. So yeah, trying to like dig open and just see, like be brave and so psychoanalyzing. So Marie Louise von Franz, if you've ever heard of her, she was a student and also a person with Carl Jung at the time. And one of her quotes, a blessing of God. Um, it's the only way you're tempted to look within, to finally make us reasonable when all our ties are broken until we can balancing, settling on a human level where everyone's there. So to confront ourselves and look at our own shadows. We can eat. There's the common phrases. You spot it, you got it. Like, let's unpack that. Because in real time, that's hard to understand. Like, what do you mean? Like, nuh-uh. I'm not like that. I can see them if they would change. So we're slowly working on opening up to have an understanding day by day, little by little, ebb and flow with this idea of being able to slow down and be present so that you can not have to spot it, so that you can see what you got, right? I mean, they're clues, but they're annoying clues, right? We want to be able to, like, for me, I spend a lot of time looking into this and having these aha moments. And I really love the painting and drawing. It's been really helping me to practice. So, yeah, I believe that's why I have become an artist ever since I was like 13. I was writing poems earlier than that, but just so that I can have a better understanding of being present, because then I can like unpack all those things, that these traumas and the depression and all that, like that low lying depression that kind of like colors your world. And but it can be very beautiful. It's those opportunities to be able to um, yeah, just less reactivity. It's very painful. I like to avoid the pain without having to douse it with drugs, alcohol, or sex. Like we're here to live good lives because we have people in our lives, like family and friends and or our work. If you're a creative person and you want to appreciate yourself first and foremost. You want to have a great relationship with what you're doing instead of saying, it's not perfect. And why am I even doing this? Like you need to, I mean, if that's why you're here, right? That's why I'm here, is to continue to have that. I appreciate, like, I don't, like, and to take risks and to not be afraid and just try stuff out, just for the sake of the joy of it, not like so that someone, like so that you put yourself in feedback. I mean, you'll know it if you get invited. You'll know it if you have passion and you love your work. It doesn't have to be like amazing, like perfection. It just has to be you and have a story about it. Anyhow, I'm just shuffling these and seeing. these cards are kind of interesting. I don't normally use these, but I still need to get a new tarot deck because my cat peed on my cards. Very wonderful. I don't know if she did it on purpose. You know, the little one, little Luigi, kind of jump scares Lilac all the time. So I have an older calico cat. She's 11, Lilac Moon, and Luigi is 3. So he's our new baby, and he's so sweet, but he jump scares her all the time. So I don't know if like she's having accidents that way, or she's trying to tell me something. I don't know. Ah, all right, so let me see. Archangel Michael. So this card says, I'm with you, giving you the courage to make life changes that will help you. Archangel Michael. So, oh, my purpose. I'm going to be a famous something. No, that's not our purpose. Like, our purpose is to have like a good day. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. All right, so I pull one. Time out. You've been so busy taking care of everyone else's needs, but now it's time to stop and take care of yourself. So these are supported. This supports the reading and the thoughts for the day. And one more. Ooh, well, sexy Rochelle. I know she's an angel. I'm sorry. So Rochelle, as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming to you now. So, do any of those resonate with you? Let me know. Let me know. Should if these, let me see who. So, yeah, I think this. I mean, yeah. What's and so, and it's new moon. It was a black moon because it was it was very dark. And so it's starting a new cycle, 0 degrees of Virgo. So it's about your body. So, take care of yourself. Um, have the courage to help you work on a divine life purpose. So, starting today, as well as honoring and following the guidance of your heart. Yeah, just settling on that. Right. Well, I love you, and check out my other stuff, my other videos. Let me know how you like it or not. It's fine too. But I will. I'll see you soon.